It was a dark and stormy night. David and his girlfriend, Lisa, were driving along a deserted road, looking for a place to spend the night. They had been on a road trip for a week, and they wanted to explore some of the old towns and villages along the way. They had heard of a mansion that was rumored to be haunted, and they decided to check it out. They found the mansion after following a dirt road that led to a large iron gate. The gate was open, and they drove through it. The mansion loomed in front of them, a massive structure of stone and wood, with many windows and towers. It looked like something out of a Gothic novel. "Wow, this place is amazing," Lisa said as they parked their car in front of the mansion. "Do you think anyone lives here?" "I doubt it," David said as he got out of the car and grabbed their backpacks. "It looks abandoned. Maybe we can find a room to stay for the night. It'll be fun." "Fun? You mean scary?" Lisa said as she followed him. "What if there are ghosts or monsters or something?" "Don't be silly," David said as he walked towards the main door. "There's no such thing as ghosts or monsters. It's just an old house. Come on, let's go inside." They pushed the door open and entered the mansion. The interior was dark and dusty, with cobwebs and broken furniture everywhere. They used their flashlights to look around and saw a grand staircase that led to the upper floors and several doors that opened to different rooms. "Wow, this place is huge," David said as he walked towards the staircase. "Let's go upstairs and see if we can find a bedroom." "Are you sure?" Lisa said as she hesitated. "Maybe we should just sleep in the car. This place gives me the creeps." "Don't be a chicken," David said as he grabbed her hand and pulled her along. "It'll be an adventure. Come on, it'll be fun." They climbed the staircase and reached the second floor. They saw a long hallway with many doors on both sides. They tried some of the doors, but they were all locked or jammed. "Maybe we should try the third floor," David said as he walked towards another staircase. "Maybe there's a room there." "Or maybe we should just leave," Lisa said as she followed him. "This place is creepy. I don't like it here." "Stop being paranoid," David said as he reached the third floor. "There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just an old house. Look, there's a door that's open. Let's go inside." They entered the room and saw that it was a bedroom. There was a large bed covered with a dusty sheet, a wardrobe, a dresser, and a fireplace. There was also a window that looked out to the stormy night. "See, this is perfect," David said as he dropped their backpacks on the floor. "We can sleep here for the night. It's cozy and warm." "Cozy and warm?" Lisa said as she looked around. "This place is filthy and cold. And what if someone comes and finds us here? What if the owner of the house comes back?" "Who cares?" David said as he walked towards the bed. "We're not hurting anyone. We're just staying for one night, and I doubt anyone lives here. This place is deserted. Come on, let's get some rest. We've been driving all day." He pulled the sheet off the bed and saw that it was stained with blood. He gasped and dropped the sheet. "What's wrong?" Lisa said as she walked towards him. "What did you see?" "Look," David said as he pointed to the bed. "There's blood on the bed. Someone was killed here." Lisa screamed and backed away from the bed. She saw that there was also blood on the floor and on the walls. She realized that the room was a crime scene and that they had walked into a nightmare. "Let's get out of here," David said as he grabbed their backpacks. "Let's go back to the car. This place is dangerous." They ran out of the room and headed towards the staircase. They heard a loud thud behind them and turned around. They saw that the door of the room had slammed shut and that it was locked. "What the hell?" David said as he tried to open the door. "It's locked. How did that happen?" "Maybe it's the wind," Lisa said as she shivered. "Maybe the wind blew the door shut." "Or maybe it's something else," David said as he looked around. "Maybe there's someone here. Maybe there's someone who doesn't want us to leave." They heard a creaking sound and saw that the other doors in the hallway were opening. They saw shadows moving in the dark and heard whispers and moans. "Who's there?" David said as he raised his flashlight. "Who are you? What do you want?" They heard a laugh, a cold and cruel laugh that echoed in the hall. They saw a figure emerge from one of the rooms, a figure that was dressed in a black cloak and wore a mask of metal. The mask had no eyes, no nose, no mouth, only a slit for a mouth. The figure held a knife in its hand, a knife that was dripping with blood. "Who are you?" David repeated as he backed away from the figure. "What do you want?" The figure did not answer but moved towards them, slowly and steadily. It raised its knife and spoke in a raspy voice. "I am the master of this house," it said, "and you are my guests. You are here to play a game of life and death, a game of madness." The figure lunged at them and stabbed David in the chest. David screamed and fell to the floor. Lisa screamed and ran towards the staircase. She tried to escape, but the figure was faster. It grabbed her by the hair and dragged her back to the room. It threw her on the bed and pinned her down. It raised its knife and smiled. "Welcome to the Mansion of Madness," it said. "You will never leave. You will never be free. You will only suffer. You will only die." It plunged its knife into her heart and laughed. Lisa's eyes widened and then closed. She was dead. The figure stood up and looked at the corpses of David and Lisa. It was satisfied. It had won the game. It had killed them. It had killed them all. It walked out of the room and locked the door. It walked down the hallway and closed the other doors. It walked down the staircase and left the mansion. It walked to the gate and closed it. It walked to the road and disappeared into the night. It was gone, but it would be back. It would always be back, for there were always more guests, more victims, more players, more madness. It was a stormy night, with the sky as dark as a void and rain pouring relentlessly as if the heavens themselves wept. I found myself on the desolate expanse of Highway 66, a lonely road that snaked through a forgotten wilderness. The rain pelted the car's roof like a symphony of ghostly whispers, and the occasional bursts of lightning revealed a dense, shadowy forest that clung to the road like a malevolent secret. As I steered my car through the serpentine highway, an eerie feeling of being watched crept upon me. Shadows flickered at the edge of my vision, and spectral figures loomed in the distance. I tried to convince myself that it was just my overactive imagination running wild in the storm, but the feeling refused to wane. Then, the supernatural became tangible. My headlights pierced the darkness and illuminated a chilling sight. A figure, pale and ghostly, standing motionless by the roadside. Its eyes radiated an unholy glow, reflecting my car's lights like malevolent stars. Panic surged through my veins, and I swerved violently to avoid the apparition, my heart pounding in my chest. When I dared to glance back, the figure had disappeared into the black night. Determined to escape this nightmare, I pressed my foot harder on the accelerator. But the strange occurrences only escalated. Trees lining the road seemed to come to life, their branches reaching out to scrape against the car's windows. Shadows in the woods morphed into grotesque, menacing forms. It felt as if the very road itself had come alive, a malevolent entity conspiring to keep me ensnared within its grasp. The car's radio, which had been playing a familiar tune, suddenly emitted a series of distorted, otherworldly sounds. Unearthly whispers filled the car, each word sending chills down my spine. I resisted the urge to turn it off, as if silencing it would only beckon the sinister phantoms closer. Just when I felt I could bear no more, a dim light flickered in the distance. A decrepit gas station materialized like an oasis in the night. I pulled in, and as I stepped out of the car, I was met with an eerie silence. The rain had ceased, and the stillness was almost supernatural. The gas station attendant, an elderly man with a look of profound weariness, leaned closer and whispered, "You're lucky you made it here, stranger." As I filled my tank, he shared a tale that sent shivers down my spine. Many had ventured onto Highway 66, never to return. Those who did spoke of malevolent spirits that roamed the highway's darkest corners. "The road never forgets," he warned, his voice a somber reminder. "It calls to you, luring you back until it claims your very soul." With his haunting words echoing in my mind, I drove away. The memory of Highway 66, the road that never forgets, clung to my consciousness. I couldn't shake the feeling that the highway had left an indelible mark on my soul, and I couldn't help but wonder if it would beckon me again, pulling me back into its eerie and inscrutable embrace. The legend of Highway 66, the road that haunted my dreams, would forever be etched in my memory. I had experienced a night drive that I knew I could never truly forget. The night draped its inky tendrils over the world, casting my room into an abyss of darkness. Amidst the hushed symphony of the night, a distant sound tiptoed into my consciousness. At first, a mere whisper, a faint echo of footsteps traversing the hallway outside my room. My eyes flickered open, the weight of sleep still heavy upon them, and I found myself lying supine, a position wholly unfamiliar to my usual sleeping habits. A jolt of disorientation coursed through me as I attempted to make sense of the disconcerting posture. Straining against the remnants of slumber, I endeavored to turn my head, intending to discern the source of the disquieting noise. But to my alarm, my body refused to obey, ensnared in a state of eerie immobility. Panic bubbled within me, its tendrils winding around my chest, constricting my breath as I attempted futilely to break free from this inexplicable paralysis. The haunting rhythm of footsteps persisted, growing louder and more pronounced, each step a chilling reminder of an unwelcome intrusion. It was an unsettling symphony, the cadence of which reverberated through the walls, resonating with an unsettling familiarity that sent shivers down my spine. Anxiety blossomed within me, a petrifying realization that I was powerless to confront whatever entity crept nearer. The air thickened, suffused with an ominous tension as the footsteps breached the threshold of my room. A presence, palpable yet unseen, loomed over me, its weight pressing down on the air, a suffocating cloak of malevolence. A cold sweat trickled down my brow as I felt the specter draw closer, an invisible force that seemed to materialize within the confines of my room. Though the darkness veiled any visual confirmation, I could sense the piercing gaze fixated upon me, an unnerving stare that seemed to penetrate my very being. The deafening silence was punctuated by the unmistakable sound of ragged breathing, a disconcerting accompaniment to the looming threat. My heart, a frenzied drumbeat in my chest, threatened to burst forth as the realization dawned. A weapon, glinting in the scant moonlight, gripped firmly in the intruder's hand, casting ominous shadows across the room. Trapped within the confines of my own vulnerability, I grappled desperately against the invisible restraints, a silent scream clawing at the confines of my throat. Every fiber of my being strained against the paralysis, a futile attempt to break free from this nightmarish tableau. Time warped and twisted, stretching moments into an excruciating eternity. The seconds crawled at an agonizing pace, each heartbeat a thunderous reminder of my helplessness in the face of this surreal terror. Finally, as abruptly as it had begun, the oppressive weight lifted, releasing me from the vice-like grip of paralysis. Gasping for air, I surged upright, a maelstrom of fear and relief washing over me in equal measure. With trembling limbs, I scanned the room, half expecting the malevolent presence to linger in the shadows, but finding only the familiar solitude of my surroundings. Alone and shaken, I sat in the aftermath of this harrowing experience, grappling with the lingering tendrils of fear that coiled around me. It was a nightmarish episode, a testament to the labyrinthine depths of the mind's machinations, leaving an indelible mark on the sanctuary of my nocturnal refuge. In the midst of the midnight's calm, Alex surrendered to the embrace of sleep's soft tendrils, welcoming its invitation into the realm of dreams. Yet, amidst the tranquility, an abrupt disturbance shattered this peaceful descent, wrenching them from the threshold of slumber back into a disorienting state of semi-consciousness. Their body lay frozen, ensnared in a confounding paralysis that gripped them firmly between wakefulness and the unknown depths of the subconscious. The room underwent a disconcerting transformation. Shadows, once familiar companions, contorted into grotesque forms that moved with an eerie grace upon the walls. Each fleeting silhouette seemed to conceal untold mysteries, their fluid movements weaving an unsettling narrative in the dimly illuminated chamber. A heavy weight descended upon Alex's chest, constricting their breath in a suffocating embrace. Panic surged, an urgent desire to escape this spectral confinement escalating within them. Despite fervent attempts, their limbs remained motionless, trapped in an unsettling stillness that intensified their sense of vulnerability and powerlessness. Whispers, barely audible yet imbued with an otherworldly resonance, permeated the air, a spectral chorus that reverberated through the room, sending tingles of apprehension coursing down Alex's spine. The customary nocturnal sounds, the gentle rustle of leaves, the faint creak of floorboards, melded into a dissonant symphony, amplifying the already foreboding atmosphere. Amidst this chilling mise-en-scène, an enigmatic presence manifested, an amorphous entity shrouded in shifting shadows. Its form remained elusive, a nebulous silhouette that seemed to fluctuate with the eerie play of light. Its gaze, luminous orbs that emanated an ethereal luminescence, bore into Alex with an intensity that seemed to probe the depths of their very soul, eliciting a mix of fascination and dread. A tumultuous whirlwind of emotions, blending fear with an insatiable curiosity, gripped Alex as they grappled with this inexplicable visitor. A fervent desire to unravel the mystery clashed with an instinctual impulse to flee, yet their body remained suspended in a state of immobility, rendering them mere spectators in this enigmatic theater of the unknown. Time appeared to stretch infinitely, each fleeting moment pregnant with anticipation and apprehension. Just when Alex felt consumed by the chilling embrace of uncertainty, the first faint tendrils of dawn broke through the horizon, dispelling the spectral apparition and releasing them from its spectral hold. Relief surged through them, yet the enigmatic encounter lingered, a haunting tale etched in the recesses of their consciousness, an unexplained anomaly waiting to be deciphered in the uncharted depths of the subconscious, leaving Alex to grapple with the enigma of that disconcerting and inexplicable twilight encounter.